Okay, I know some of you don't like Debbie, Colt's mom, but in this video I want to talk about her because I actually like her and I feel like the state of her relationship with her son is her fault, but not because she did anything wrong or bad necessarily, but that's what I want to talk about in this video. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. I am the She in Sheality TV, and like I said in the intro, today I want to talk about Debbie and Colt and about Debbie's new love life. So, Colt and Vanessa have moved out of the house that Debbie and Colt used to share, and they've left Debbie on her own with this big place with the rent to pay all by herself. Like I said in the intro, I like Debbie. My only issue with Debbie is that she wasted her youth playing crutch to what turns out to be the ungrateful sack of skin that she calls her son. I mean, look at her. Look how cute she was. She wasted her youth being stuck to this boy after her husband died, 13 years ago? And wow, look at how much Colt looks like his daddy. Holy moly. Anyway, don't get me wrong, I feel like they used each other as a crutch. While Colt was playing the lazy 13-year-old in the body of a 30-year-old, Debbie was happy to have him stay home because she didn't have anyone either. But Colt treated his mother worse and worse with each useless woman that he brought home. First there was Larissa, who turned into a batshit crazy human being once she stepped on US soil. It was Larissa who had a problem with Debbie, not Colt so much. But Colt felt like because he had a cuckoo that he could use, he would have to try his damnedest to keep it happy, which meant throwing his mother under the bus every chance he got. Imagine the audacity to bring a woman into a house that you share with your mom, only to have that woman call herself the queen while living in that house. Nasty humans. And then there was Jess. For some reason, Debbie decided to go to Mexico, where Jess lived, to visit her with Colt, but honestly speaking, I don't think that was her decision. I feel like that was a production-made decision because they thought it would make good TV, but it was actually really shitty. Poor Debbie looked so uncomfortable, you could feel that all she wanted to do was go home. And then along came Vanessa, who Colt cheated on Jess with. How this woman even had anything to do with him after seeing him with no clothes on, I have no idea. But to help him cheat on his fiancé/girlfriend/wife? Disgusting. So in the first episode, Debbie says that Colt still has some stuff left at the house that they used to share, so she calls him to come and clean out his stuff. And in that process, she shows us all the stuff that he's got shoved under a bed, weights and other stuff. Like, what on earth Colt was doing with weights, I have no idea. But when he comes to get it, he plods in like some blob on legs. With overgrown everything, he starts to berate her almost as soon as he walks in the door. So she asks him, like, what am I supposed to do? We signed a lease and you left me here with this huge rent to pay all by myself. And his response to her question is to fly off the handle and blame her for the state of his pitiful life. Like I said before, Colt and Debbie used each other. She was his crutch and he was hers. As far as I'm concerned, she wasted her youth raising that sad sack of ungrateful past the age of 18. He got a new crutch before she did. Now, that Colt, as far as the whole dating scale thing goes, he's already in the negative numbers. That Vanessa chick that he married set the bar so low, it's buried in the floorboards. He managed to limbo under that, and still, she thinks he's some great catch, which says a ton about her. So after Colt is done ripping up one side of poor Debbie and down the other, she falls into the couch and bursts into tears burying her face, and I'm thinking, bitch, you better get up off that couch and go wash your face. Is her son an ass? Yes, absolutely. But this is her chance to cut him loose. Block his ass on everything. Let him know what it's like not to have someone to turn to every time his flavor of the month dumps him. He also needs to understand what it's like not to have his mother at his beck and call. Debbie girl, move on with your life. Anyways, Debbie decides that she's tired of sitting on the sidelines, so to speak, thanks to Colt. And she finds herself someone to date. Now, this someone is found by a friend of hers who hooks her up with her landlord, who lives not far from where I used to live. He lives in Port Coquitlam, BC. In Canada, of course. Debbie and this dude have been talking for a few weeks, and on the first episode they FaceTime, so at least neither of them is in for any rude surprises when they meet in person. On the second episode, he actually makes the trek to Vegas for Debbie's birthday, and once they do the dirty, she decides that this man is the love of her life. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the way that Debbie is all over this man, all she's done is trade one crutch for another, because she's so overly... what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure that affectionate is the word I want to use. She's kind of clingy. Like she's, you know what I mean? She's kind of semi-clingy. Does that make any sense? In the episode where her friends have a little birthday get-together for her, Colt calls her to say happy birthday on her friend's phone, and she's overcome with emotion as they agree that they'll go to therapy to work out their differences. But the way she, is all, into Tony as she's, crying because Colt actually wants to work it out with her. It just felt weird. It felt awkward. It felt forced. Like watching the two of them, you would think that they knew each other a lot better than they actually do. And while I'm on the subject of Debbie and Tony, they actually do the deed. That's all I'm going to say about that. You don't need any more detail about that from me, and I'm not interested in going into any more detail about it. So in the trailer at the end of the show, that shows, the What's Coming trailer, it looks like Tony is going to invite Debbie to move in with him, and which would mean she would have to be moving to Canada, which, honestly speaking, I think she should do. I think she needs to literally, cut the cord, sever the cord with Colt, right? I feel like Colt is too comfortable. Just because he has a wife now, he feels like he doesn't need Debbie. And it's not even a matter of whether or not he needs her, because what is Colt, 34, 35, something? He's well past the age of still needing his mother, but the way he treats her, I feel like she needs to, you know what, Deb, get your life. Get your life. You need to get rid of that son. Get away from him. But I also feel like she shouldn't make this Tony dude the center of her universe, because, girl, when he feels like he's done and you have nothing else, you're done. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I'm happy that Debbie's happy. I'm happy that she's, doing whatever she's doing. But yeah, she needed to get away from that son of hers, because seriously, that man is ungrateful. Seriously ungrateful. The other thing I wanted to say is, where did these friends of Debbie's come from? How long has this woman been on the show and she never had any friends? They never introduced us to any of her friends. Now all of a sudden she's got these 3 friends that are close enough to her to plan a birthday party for her. Where did these people come from? She never had any friends before. Anyways, again and as usual, thank you so much for watching and for listening. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.